very important. Wow. Wow. 10 años, ¿sí?
10 años, hace ahora en marzo.
Wow. Qué color. Wow. These things march and usually eat things like destroy the pine trees. They march along in groups and they can give you a bit of a rash, to say the least, when they're bigger, maybe when they're now. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Buscan para comidas.
Al árbol, busca el árbol.
Caca. Look at that for a view. Fancy hawking in January. Just a couple of light layers on, dry, perfectly dry ground, no mud. And spring flowers are already out. Wow. Look at this, guys. If you ever get the chance to practice falconry with people in other countries, other parts of the world, just do it. It's just interesting. It takes you places. You meet people, like-minded people. Look at that. Don't know if there's anything down there to hunt, but imagine if you fly long wings. That is a vast, vast flatness. Today we're hunting with a Periana, American Kestrel Peregrine hybrid, which in Spain has proven over 10 years in Rafa's hands to be an exemplary falconry bird, but a difficult species in the UK. Maybe prey, maybe people haven't tried enough, but Rafa's a maestro of micros. Just trying to speak English and not Spanish. Sparrowhawks, no gabilan, sparrowhawks. And he never liked falconry with falcons, much messing around, whereas you can go out with a sparrowhawk and just hunt. And he got this little hybrid falcon. He did fly American Kestrels, but similar to sparrowhawks, style-wise. And then he got this bird, and he's been flying it for 10 years. Not many people fly anything now for 10 years, let alone a micro. And he hunts every single day through the season.
España, la Unión Europea, la más destinada a placas solares. Abastecer.
Y se anda por toda parte del cantil. Y ese camino que baja por ahí es el del otro cortillo. Este que hay aquí abajo.
So this is Chippy, 11 years old. So this dog was working for Rafa when I came here the last 2 or 3 times. Very popular breed here, very popular for falconry. Lovely hound. Funny looking things, I always think. Brilliant at their job. So Rafa tells me this was part of the Mediterranean Sea millions of years ago. The mountains cut off the sea, gradually evaporated, and now we've got this huge plain really among the mountains. So snow this evening in the UK. Here you couldn't have get a perfect temperature right now for being outside and walking around.
Ten cuidado que eso...
Es urticario. Urticario, sí. Wow.
Es que lo creo que los negritos son la cría que todavía no ha desarrollado la de esto.
Y no está en planta.
Que se están uniendo para ir a una planta, están buscando el sitio. Y cuando van creciendo hacen lo que esta gente come.
So these processionary moth caterpillars, they're literally everywhere. And they are, as you've seen, in a procession in many places, moving from, I guess, one food source to the next. What a great day to be alive. There's no one here except us friends. It's a shed his skin and they're changing colour as they grow. Wow. So we've had a look around while we've been waiting for the Guardia, the official, the police of the hunting reserve, making sure Rafa's got his papers and he's here, he's someone that's permitted here. So now we're moved to where we're going to start flying a bird. So most of the areas in Spain are private hunting reserves, mostly for shotguns and shooters, because they generally are richer than falconers, and generally you need to pay for permission to hunt here and have your papers, etc. I guess it's a bit like, you know, being part of a syndicate. You're paying for permission and you've got to pay your way for sure. So a little bit different to the UK in general. So to give you some idea how good this guy is, or how detailed, I think a lot of people will agree. For 8 years, every day of the season, he flew the same musket, as well as female, but he flew the same musket for 8 years, successfully hunting every single day of the season. He sorts his work so he can hunt for the season. And that bird, the colours were stunning, a really mature musket. But to give you just some idea how specialised this guy is, Rafa, in his sort of what we call, I guess, micro falconry. I know some people don't like the term, but it seems to be a thing. Even this bird, 10 years. Who flies a bird this small for 10 years, every season, every day? Takes a lot of detail. A lot of patience, I should think. Nearly 15 years ago, we first came out to Spain to meet these guys. And for a long time, Rafa's son, young Rafa, was a snake breeder like myself, so we've got a lot in common. He loves these reptiles. He's caught this lovely eyed lizard recently in the autumn. Look at that. Say what you like about the Peregrine, or the American Kestrel hybrid with the Peregrine. It is a pretty little bird for sure. This bird, oh charming, this bird gets the full best of both worlds, which is what you expect, no, what you hope for from a hybrid. So it can hover like a kestrel, and it can wait on a stoop like a peregrine, and away it goes. See if we can get you some footage of today. Oh. So Rafa and his dog are bushwhacking, and this bird's just waiting on. Very little air today, but there is some. What are we hunting? It's a quail. There you go, kestrel hover. So I guess the kestrel, I'm pretty sure, is like most of them, the kestrel is the mother. And the peregrine is the dad. It's really difficult. I've been here 2 days only speaking Spanish, very badly, and only hearing Spanish. My brain keeps switching to Spanish, it's really weird. Having to think about English. How strange is that? So this bird's got some height now. Very loyal. Remember, these guys have been hunting together with the dog for 10 years. Wow. Wow. So it's seeing stuff move. Well, it didn't move. I want to get around there. Whoa. Whoa. It's pulling up. It's pulling up. Oh. The dog's working hard. 11 years old, remember? Might be its last season, Rafa tells me. So it's directly above us. Look, whoa. Oh, we're going to get blinded by the sun. So look at that. Whoa. So you've seen the terrain. To get a bird to flush cleanly, incredibly difficult, especially when a falcon's waiting on a bird. Oh, Jesus, the sun's so bright. So everyone's working, well, not me, working together. So this is a proper team falconry. Human, dog, flushing, really working hard to get something to break cover cleanly. Remember, this is not a sparrowhawk, this is a longwing. Doesn't want to crash into cover. It wants to be able to, needs something out just a little bit in the open. So just going to get some more lift. Wow, that sun is in the wrong place. It's in the sky. So this is a tight team. They all know what's going on. This is a very small bird to film on the phone. So Rafa's, this is why this man who's a bit older than me is so fit. He's not just a spectator. This is proper team hunting. And these birds and quail, you'd think, well, surely with a human there around that little baby palm, that palmito, that bird's going to flush. But it's safer in there than in the sky. Look at the bird. So when we're doing displays, I'll often tell people the bird is not the slave. The human is the slave to the bird. Our job is always trying to serve our birds the ability to catch their tea, to take game. Look how loyal the bird is though. Well, not now. It really, really knows where the action's coming from. Have a little rest, look. There we go. There's the kestrel. Back on the perch. Nothing's happening. I'll sit it out for a bit. You guys get your act together. That's his attitude. So of course, we've had a bird flush the second that bird's having a rest. Those little birds are not alive by being stupid. They've not made it this far. So there's not much out. It really is having to use that kestrel hovering. Wow, wow. Look at that. So you might be thinking, look at that, it's just hovering like ever. About the sort of altitude you'd expect a kestrel to hover. Whoa! And you might think, well, that's not waiting on very high. There is no point, this bird being 1,000 feet up. It's praised for possibly flushing 20 feet from palmito to palmito, bush to bush, if you like. There's no point in this bird having height. It's never going to get down in time. So it waits on at a relatively low altitude at this sort of hunting. You see that kestrel tail. Look how much work these guys are putting in. You'd think if you give that a tap with a stick and anything in there would fly out. Certainly with the dog. Look at the dog. But these birds know the sky is not the place to be right now. Stick with the sluggish human and the sluggish dog compared to being in the sky. Look at this. Calling it in for a rest. Look at this. When you watch a really good falconer, I've seen this with some of the UK Merlin guys, when you watch a good falconer, it's quite emotional. Just this, like that effortless skill and that effortless bond, you know, really, really, like perfect detail, but all totally natural. And I guess you could say, you know, a lot of us sort of newer falconers, a bit like a new driver. You're thinking about things more, you're consciously thinking about what you do. I'm sure there's a lot of falconers started out this year that know what I'm talking about. You're thinking, oh, what should I do now? What do I do? And you think about what gear you put in your car in, whereas you get to the level of Rafa, he's not thinking. Perfect tuned symbiosis, I think you could say, of man, dog and bird. Perfect falconry. Doesn't matter what you're hunting, what you're flying. Wow. So off the fish now, we're flying more like an American Kestrel or more like a spar. Off the fist. So it's so hard. Whoa! Whoa! Yeah. So think how hard this bird's working. Oh, I can't look down, I'm trying to follow the bird. Look how hard this bird's working, constantly pumping those wings to get height, the right height for speed, but within that short distance. Whoa! 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 So these birds are just, oh, we're talking, I don't know, what was that, 2 foot? 2 foot above its prey, and then the prey's escaped. Wow. This bird doesn't need handouts, this bird catches its teeth. Put a lot of work in, but it also, of course, trusts the team. I know I'm putting the work in, but I know with teamwork, you're going to help me catch some tea today. I've been very lucky over the years because Rafa's sent me a lot of footage of this bird off his GoPro. Whether it's hunting passerines or quail. And the occasional partridge it's actually caught, which is a big chunk for a small longwing. Trouble is we're filming into the sun, so we're getting very poor quality. Try and swap round. Well, that's better. Bird's going off now, look. Pretty sure it's going to go and take a stand for a minute, yeah, to have a little rest. So am I. He's not as fit as I thought he was. We're all getting old. Not bad for 11 years old. Like us old men, keep active or lose it all. Got a red kite up there. There it is. Lots of these, not many buzzards, but there's a few. Peregrines live here, attacking these. Told me he's had trouble with them wild peregrines attacking his hybrid, as you can probably imagine. So something about the Spanish, which is so refreshing in every walk of life. If it works and does the job, why would you pay more? You know, I love my Keith Wakefield vest, wouldn't be without it. But I'm sure what Rafa's using has all cost a fraction of the price. I'm sure he's got a lot more money than I have, but he's got what he needs to fly this bird. And that's everything in Spain. You know, people go out, they look smart, but they're not wearing all the most expensive designer outfits when they go out. They just look good. Why would you? A pair of jeans that looks nice is a pair of jeans that looks nice, that kind of attitude. Just a completely different world. Health and safety is light years behind Britain, and I can't tell you how refreshing it all actually is. So Rafa and Jesus, I met Jesus and Rafa because when I came back from living in Spain, I don't know, 17 years ago maybe, I thought I'll keep up my Spanish, I'll try and learn more Spanish by going on before it was all Facebook, when it was websites, a Falconry website. I was on the old IFF, as a lot of you guys were, as well as a Spanish Falconry website. And he said, oh, we have sky trials here. Come and stay with me and my family. You can see some Spanish falconry and come to the sky trials. Well, we've got a hotel nearby. My children, Jackie and I, said, you must be stupid. They might be axe murderers for all you know. And quite funny, because we were talking last night over dinner, and yeah, their friends and family said the same about us English coming to stay. Friendship that's been strong ever since. Family, Spanish family. So as I said earlier in the video, if you get the chance to practice or to see falconry in any other part of the world, take the chance. Take the chance. Falconry for me takes me places, takes me and my wife places. We meet great people, we have a great time, and we have great memories for sure. Do it. Do it. It's not hard to go to a Spanish sky trial and just take in the atmosphere. And maybe you'll meet someone and go off properly practicing falconry another day during your stay. The rabbits in Spain have suffered from VHD like the UK, but I think not to a great extent. This place, there's lots of rabbit holes, and Rafa tells me there's lots of rabbits. And he also tells me that the buzzards are pretty much migratory here. They're here for the winter, but they're not putting pressure on the rabbit population and the babies like in the UK, where I just think they're struggling to bounce back because the high volume of buzzards, certainly in Northamptonshire, is just finishing off all those little silly rabbits. Just not getting the opportunity to bounce back from VHD. Great place to hunt with your goshawk. And a ferret maybe, looks like good terrain. He's had his little rest, her little rest. Rafa, es un hembra, no? Macho, oh, has had his little rest. ¿Qué pasó?
¿Qué peso, papá? 2.25.
25 gramos. Wow, see, 95 grams. And this is why Kyle bought and flew a American Kestrel cross Peregrine after seeing this bird fly here many years ago. For sure here, this is one versatile bird to fly. This is, you know, if you want to fly a sparrowhawk or you want to fly a falcon waiting on, it's all going on with this bird in this terrain. can really see this bird's sort of knowledge of what's going on at this age. It's always got one eye on the dog. Beautiful plants. It is winter here, but it's a bit like spring in the UK. It's the rains have been, and that really stuff starts to grow. You know, we'd think otherwise the things grow so well in the winter, but of course this winter's like decent, like an average UK summer, I guess. 15 degrees in the day in the winter. Vamos. I think this little dog's earned its money. Like Rafa's car, it gets driven over this ground. It's not a 4x4. I think Rafa's cars earn their money in the hunting season, and so does his dog.
¿Voy a mear con la mía o con la tuya?
¿Es posible para él capturar perdices o demasiado grande?
Las hembras las atacan, los machos.
Sí, sí.
La hembra más pequeñita,
Wow.
pero el macho, vamos, la alcanza sin problema.
Sí. Wow.
Llega ella, pero el macho la ataca y se va.
Ah, so no problem if it sees female partridge being smaller.
La paloma también la ataca.
It will chase pigeons, but male partridge it will chase and pull off. Too big, which you'd expect. I think the thing is, people say, why would you cross such a strange hybrid? And I think the thing is, if you get the best of both, in this terrain, the flying style is superb, but anyone that's hunted with an American Kestrel will know, compared to our Eurasian, British Kestrels, generally, they're way more aggressive when it comes to attacking. They're ballsy little things for sure. We're the wrong side of the sun again now. If I was a bird, I'd be in there. Oh, there's no pressure on Rafa. You know what it's like. Oh, can I film it for YouTube? Just applied all the pressure. Rafa's thinking, I'll take Dave out for a couple of hours. Now he's thinking, oh God, I've got to perform. I was talking to Alcy and Jesus. I was talking to Alcy and Jesus yesterday when we were driving in the car, and I said, I know how many rabbits around. Hay muchos conejos, and they started sniggering. And I said, what's funny, my Spanish? And they said, no, conejo, or rabbit, is a similar word to pussy in England, or whatever, US or UK. So there you go. You can try and talk a language and say words that are hilarious, and you just don't know why, because you don't know the lingo. Now, not necessarily if you're flying long wings, but I think those of us that can't and live in areas where really short wings are the thing to have, anywhere like this, a bit of rough ground, mixed of trees and bushes and rough open land. It's just sort of music to your eyes. You think, well, there's got to be something in here. I like it. And I also, of course, love the plant life and the wildlife that you find in such places along the way. Okay, he's off again. I'd certainly be glad to see so much rabbit activity where I am. So look at Rafa's son, Rafa. Smacks of a person that's not mega interested in falconry.
¿Tú has perdido la llave?
Sí, sí.
¿Sí? Vamos a ver. O que te bajaste.
On the video where Birdie, the white goss, got electrocuted, as someone commented, I should know better, and you know, the bird should be wearing a backpack transmitter. It wouldn't have touched the, you know, wouldn't have earthed it out, which is probably true. I've used backpacks a lot, but for me, I've only ever had, I like stuff perfect, especially if it's on the birds all the time. I've only probably ever had 2 or 3 times I've been really happy with how I've fitted one. So I haven't used them for quite a while, but you can see how out of the way they are, especially on a tiny raptor like this. No weight on its tail, nothing dangling on its legs.
Y entré allí nadie ha visto nada, no te va a poner ahora a reír otra cosa.
As I fall down a rabbit hole. Some hybrids are bloody ugly, but you've got to say, whatever you think of them, very pretty birds. This cross, this hybrid, very pretty.
Ya está uno ciego, tío.
No es simple, ¿no?
No veo.
Sí, sí. So the birds had a feed up. Rafa tells me similar here, lack of game is making it very hard. Birds worked hard. Rafa's decided time to feed the bird up. Done its job, it's worked hard. We've failed the bird, not the other way around. So he's gonna send me some of those videos I was telling you about so you can see some of this bird in action for sure. Because I failed you, of course. The old dogs work bloody hard too.
El coche viejo, empecé a hacer llaves y tengo 3. Y hay veces que hay uno nomás. Por la casa, por donde sea. Eso es mi casa. El triángulo de la Bermuda.
These birds definitely don't love us, but God, we do love them.
Oh, qué rico. Chipi, ¿y tú qué? ¿Vamos a ir otra vez? ¿Ya no tienes ganas? ¿No vas a tener ganas de ir? ¿Y yo? ¿No? Vamos, gordo.
Remember what I was saying about it works? Look at this. How simple is this? Basically,
Esto
a stack and
es
store
modelo IKEA.
IKEA. So look at that, a storage box from IKEA. How simple is that? See, okay, so for dirty washing. So it's a washing basket from IKEA. ¿Cuántos años tienes?
5 más que el Perián, 15.
Sí, so 15.
Cada año renuevo.
So it's had this for years and years. Look at that. 15 years.
Made for me.
See, made
China,
for
not in China.
not made in China. He's made it himself. But it works perfectly.
Aquí abajo, ahí está. Aquí abajo, corre. Wow. Aquí abajo, ven. ¡Mira! ¡Wow! Abajo. Ahí está.
Clouded yellow butterfly. Hello.
Hey.
Sí. Este es mi amigo Jesus. Ian, and a male peregrine he's bred here. He breeds very big peregrines. Females are huge with very, very big feet. And his sausage dog Tekel is saying hello. Beautiful. Peregrine, bred in Spain. Another one of Jesus' peregrines. Macho, as said before, he likes the really big ones, and that's what he intends to, you know, hold back and breathe from, really. Beautiful.
You're washing the pool?
Obviously the problem here is, on a roof terrace in Spain, is the temperature in summer, which now is regularly over 40 degrees, and not just for August. So there's a lot of solid roofs for shade, but a lot of aeration, a lot of front and back and side on open windows. We're worried about cold drafts, they're worried about getting a nice cool breeze. Right now, say snow forecast today in the UK. Here, t-shirt and a thin fleece weather. Imagine what it's like in August. Okay, so this male, these are all imprints. This male and this female, beautiful as she is, are the parents of these two. Yum. There, so one of Jesus's chicks had a dodgy leg, and it grew fine, then it broke while it was still a chick, and I had to have it pinned, and I had to have all this rest in the house. I had to literally nurse it like ridiculous amounts in the house. It couldn't even move, But look at it now, it literally all was well in the end. And of course after, it's time for food. Spanish style.